Scheduled. Sorry. What's going on, Jennifer Lacey?
Hello, Happy New Year, Jesse.
Happy New Year to you, my sister. You having fun so far?
It has been. It's been. I've taken some time at the end of the year and then kind of getting ready for what 2026 is going to look like. And so, yeah, it's been. It's good. I think it started off good so far. I haven't had too many days to screw it up yet.
We're 3 days in. You know what? I'm on a streak. Well, today will make a streak. I got me a 3-mile run in on Monday. I got a 15-mile bike ride in yesterday.
Nice.
So today I need to go get me another long run in because it's perfect timing, right? Yeah. Why not start a streak?
The weather's been nice, been super nice.
Oh my God, it has been fantastic. So today, go ahead.
No, Adam's on time. I'm giving him. He's like, look at you.
Look at that. What's up, Hoots? Watch out. We've got new year, new me. So, Jen, today we're not necessarily talking about everybody's resolutions, right? We are talking about what's holding you back.
Yes.
But more specifically, like, zooming in, because this is on a lot of people's goals list, is getting more active on LinkedIn or social media or whatever. And so what's the backstory behind this topic?
Well, one, you and I we have a little bit of a social media presence. And we're celebrating 4 years of having done this. So this live stream, the first one in January, is actually the 4 years this Saturday that we've been doing this. And so it's been fun, Jesse. Thanks for still showing up with me. But as we've been navigating what this looked like and what our goal was and what our purpose was and how we want to change the world, a lot of our conversations have, people will ask, like, how do you do this? Or I want to do what you do. Or how do I, Jesse, how did you start? Or, how do you get people to follow you? All the little questions. And a lot of them, you and I, Jesse, talk about, well, we didn't think about that. Or we didn't worry about that. Or that wasn't in our plan. Or that wasn't something that we prepared for. And it was interesting because that's how a lot of the questions come. And so you and I thought, coming into the new year, so probably people, as they're getting more active or they're doing more things, are like, ooh, I want to do better. Yeah. And we're like, well, maybe we just kind of talk about things that are screw ups, things that maybe we did or didn't do that we could do better. But also our approach was a little different than a lot of people that are trying to do more on social media. And so we thought us with our tribe could maybe talk through some of those trials and tribulations, but also hey, we think you're overthinking it.
Just a little bit. Well, I love that. And I'm going to add, right? I know for me, and I'm pretty sure for you, Jen, being active on LinkedIn has been massive.
Yes.
Right. And so for me, one, I think now I can say it has been a huge generator of my business in terms of people becoming aware of me and helping them pick me and all that other stuff. But more importantly, the people it's funny because most of the people that I consider my friends that I think about when I'm not just thinking about other human beings, I've met them on
I would say the same thing. Right? Yes.
And people like Miss Sarah Ganella. Yes. She said, good morning.
A lot of my speaking engagements came from people that watched and saw me on social media, mainly with you, but sometimes other places. And then they asked me to go speak somewhere else. So a lot of even spaces that I've been able to show up in were only because of someone seeing and valuing something that I've said on social media.
Yeah, no, and so that's the point, right? Is being active and being visible creates opportunity. And I think that's there's three things, right? One, it creates opportunity, but maybe that doesn't happen for everybody, right? Maybe, I don't know, maybe. it helps us find freaking awesome people.
Yes.
If, and we'll come back to the if, right? Because back to that takes us to the overthinking thing. And it massively increases self-awareness.
Yes.
Right. And personal growth. So there's a lot there. And so, like, for me, that's kind of the thing. Like, let's talk about this, because we know we got some people like Sarah, bring out your badass self. Like, she's all out there. And from what I could see, it's only been beneficial. Has it been perfectly easy with no bumps? No. But big picture, you could see how impactful it's been for her. And so talking through, again, back to like the title of the conversation of what's holding you back, I think that there's a lot of people that want to get active, but there's sticky stuff that is keeping them from actually doing that. Then now you have some brave people like Miss Emma Orozco coming in from YouTube land. What's up, my sister?
Good morning. Good morning.
And then we got Ms. Leslie from the NYC. She says, good morning, happy New Year. So there are people, and here's the beautiful thing, right? You already know, but if you're a lurker out there, it's your first time, a lot of the folks you're going to be interacting here have like real experience. They're ballers, and I'm looking forward to them sharing their insights and their advice to help people like get unstuck and really make that move in terms of increasing their presence on LinkedIn, etc. Like Kirby. Kirby, how you doing, sister? Man, they're already coming in.
I know. So let's do housekeeping super fast.
Let's do it.
Okay, so Emma, I'm talking to you, and I'm sure there's other people out there. So if you somehow ran across this crazy feed and see our hands and us moving all over the place, and you're like, what is happening here? So it's your first time here and you're trying to figure out what's going on. Or if you've been out there and you've been listening, but you just haven't engaged or haven't taught, let us know you're there. Or if you've been gone for a while, you had some stuff going on, life happens, and we have people that kind of come back and go, oh my gosh, we missed y'all, we haven't seen y'all. So any of those categories, if you'll put a blue heart in the comment, no, you don't have to put anything else, but if you'll put a blue heart, it's your first time here, first time typing and telling us you're here, or you haven't been here in a while, put a blue heart, because that lets us know we want to celebrate you. But also it lets our No BS tribe know we got some new people that we need to connect with. We need to follow content. We need to engage with you because we are a community and we want to make sure that we value that. So please add a blue heart so that we can call you out. But also we are so happy you are here.
Amen. And when you comment, that is going to get your name thrown into the randomizer. And so what that means is at the top of the hour, it's a little raffle thing, digital raffle thing. We're going to, hit the button. And if your name gets selected, you will get a free pass to this month's session of Emotional Bungee Jumpers and the Cultivation Crew. And the easy way to think about Emotional Bungee Jumpers, what is that? That is communication skills.
Yes.
Straight up, period. Cultivation Crew, that is building some of the leadership skills that, very few programs actually really dive deep into and how to develop them and build them. So you'll get a free pass to that. You'll get to come and hang out with the other crew. And that's not the only way in. If you really want, like you're really interested in building your communication skills and your leadership skills, drop a comment and I'll send you a link. You can sign up. It's a paid community. It's awesome, but it's available.
Hurry, John Trent is new and this is his first time here.
Oh. Come on, John Trent. Good morning, John. Driving and listening, good. So keep your hands on the wheels, John. Appreciate you being here. Look, we already got Leslie saying, welcome, John. Yeah, y'all already know. We got to swarm him. Leslie says, good morning and happy New Year. Oh, no, wait. Come on, Jesse, chill out. Leslie's giving a nice warm welcome. Sarah's giving a nice warm welcome. Mr. Denver Waters. What's up, Denver? How you been, my man? Yeah, we got him coming back. You know this person?
I do. Happy New Year, Cindy. Oh, I'm so excited
for
what 2026 is going to give you.
I like she says hashtag life happened. If y'all don't know, Cindy is an OG. She's been around part of the tribe for a long time. And she's back in force. I love it. All right. So should we just jump in?
Yes, let's kick it off. Let's talk about what we're going to talk about today.
Well, let's see. I think we just hit them with the question.
Okay, let's start.
Right.
I think we hit them hard first, and then we go from there.
Yeah. And so I think let's set it up, right? I think my assumption is this: most people are struggling to be active on social media because they're afraid of being judged.
Yes.
They're afraid of. I think there's a spectrum, right? Some are just afraid of being made fun of and trolls, which is a reasonable concern. But I think on the other end of the spectrum, they're afraid of getting fired, afraid of their bosses taking.
We've seen both. We've literally been a part, whether it's ourselves or we're connected to people that we've just seen some nastiness of people just not agreeing, not liking it. And we've also seen people that have engaged with us and been a little vulnerable. And then they got a phone call, or then they got an email that said, whoa, wait a minute. What's going on? We've seen it. We've witnessed it. Yep.
And that reality, I think, creates this web of friction, making people feel like they have to be perfect.
Yes. Be all like shiny and everything else. Yes.
I gotta say it in such a way that nobody gets mad at me, that I can't be judged, that there's no negative repercussions, and there's no trolls. And then I end up saying nothing. Mm-hmm. What do you think, Jen?
Well, I mean, first of all, I know you're setting this up because if those of you, and we have a lot of them this morning that haven't been here for the 4 years today that Jesse and I have been live streaming. 4 years, which is amazing, because I don't know how I've put up with him this long, but I still have to get out. But 4 years, and so he's setting it up because I'm gonna push it back to Jesse in a minute. Is that 4 years ago, and really it was 4.5 years ago because we did some live streams prior to launching No BS. But when we were prepping and getting ready to do these open conversations live with people having no idea what they're gonna say and what we were gonna say, I was scared out of my mind. And then after I got through being like, it's going to be fine, because Jesse reassured me, then it was, okay, Jennifer, but you got to make sure you know what you're going to say. You got to make sure you know the plan. And you got to make sure that you don't say anything that's going to ruffle some feathers. These were all real things, because Jesse knows it because he watched it, that I was almost frantic within my head. I was very much overthinking it, but also worried and scared because I was already established and in a space, very well respected, very, had put tenure in. I was in a space that was working and that I was happy in. I didn't want to screw it up. And so a lot of the ways at first, and poor Jesse, not even poor Jesse, he was a trooper. Early on, I'm like, Jesse, we can't say this. We can't do this. I can't do this. You can't do this. You can't ask this. It was a lot of Jennifer imposing things on him. And normally, if you haven't been around Jesse, that's normally it's been fun. See you later. That kind of stuff. But he navigated, he allowed me to kind of figure it out. And then somehow I realized that the world wasn't going to explode.
Yes. Yeah. I love that because I do remember okay, I just got to help her get there. I remember certain conversations Jesse, you got to remember, I have a job. You didn't say it in those words, but that's what was coming across. And I'm okay. I understand that. But I don't think it's that big a deal. But so anyways, it did inform the way I showed up, right? Yes. I did tone it down a little bit, or maybe polish a little more than I absolutely polished a little more than I typically would, because that was important for you. but I also knew that, man, I just need to help her get past this.
Yes.
And then it's going to be magical. And so,
Yes.
folks, if y'all want to see evidence of what
No.
Go all the way back to the very first, was 4 years ago, the very first No BS with Jen and Jess live stream.
Oh, so bad.
You will see how much we've grown. I'll say it that way. Now I'm going to pose. So here's the question to everybody, and you and I, Jen, we're going to dive into this a little bit more. The question is, what would you change, or rather, what would change if you showed up imperfectly? And I think our story is going to speak to that. But I also want to recognize people. Look at Mr. Jared Wilson.
Good morning, Jared.
My brother. We got Cristobal Cruz says, do you play games? Sure. Sure, I play games. Mr. Milo, what's up, Milo? He says, good morning. And then we got Ms. Jaquisha. She says, good morning. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting. Also want to remind everybody to drop a comment, right? Because if you drop a comment, it's going to get you into the random. Oh, wait, look. Chief Marketeer says, and to think all the messiness 4 years ago, the authenticity, the vulnerability, that's what drew me in. So Steve, we actually drew him in back when we were doing the 5S love letters, right? And that started the whole thing. So back to the question, what would change if you showed up imperfectly? So Jen, you painted the picture, right, of what it was like when we started No BS with Jen and Jess. Did it feel to you like, man, I gotta stop, I gotta just be okay with being a little messy or a little raw or a little less perfect? Was that in your head?
No, when we started, at no point I was like, I need to change. I've got to do better. It was like I had a formula of what, I guess in my mind, it wasn't really so much social media, but like what had worked, like what had gotten me to that point. And I knew how to show up. I knew the conversations. I knew the people, like the things that had worked to get to that point. And in my mind, it's like, I know I have this formula that works. I now have this space. How do I like make these things work together? And you can see it, and it wasn't more externally, it was internally. And if you watch those early live streams, you can literally see it happening in my head. Like while we're talking, like, and you could see me like, do I go there? Do I not go there? Do I say it? Do I not? Like you could literally see it while we're talking. Yeah. And I was trying to like make it work. I was trying to fit them together. And there was a point where it's almost like, just throw it up and go, like, just stop trying to have a script. Stop trying to like overthink or think through what I'm going to say before I say it. And again, it's a process. Like when you say 4 years, it wasn't like a month in, I figured it out, but you can see over time where like, I'm going to tell you the prep that Jesse and I do for this show is we literally join at 7:30 Central Time, 30 minutes before the show. We walk through a bunch of questions that we've talked about. We put them up on the screen, and then we talk about how our week's been. And then we go live. Like that's our prep for this show. Yes. And it works. It does, yes.
So we're going to go a little deeper there, Jen. But first, Mr. Jared says, imperfectly, nothing. That's the norm. 10-4. And then I love Leslie's comment. She says, imperfect really is perfect.
Well, that's human, Jesse. Like it's human. Like I think people forget. Like, and you may not be one that wants to own this yet, and that's okay, because we have people that kind of are in different parts of their journey. But like nobody's perfect. Like everybody screws up. Everybody is not like whatever they're showing on the outside, whatever you see. Okay, there's still other things that we know, we don't know, we can assume, all the things like that's human. And I think whatever reason, and you and I talked about this, is right now we're talking, we're live, there's a lot. I mean, most people that are typing have been here with us for a while. Some haven't, But like the assumption in our brains, because this is how we work, is the whole world is listening to everything. Every word we say, the whole world is listening. Every word, they're reading everything Leslie's saying and Jared's saying and Steve's saying. Like, they're reading everything. And so the whole world's going to know everything we're doing. And like, we know that's not true.
Yeah, like it's false in that everybody is hanging on every word and critiquing and judging. There are some people that will, and that's okay. So, and there's the lurkers. I'm talking about you.
We love you.
They're there. They're paying attention. You're getting their attention. And so, which kind of takes it back to the whole purpose of this question is, one, I know that being active and visible through social media has dramatically impacted my life in a very positive manner. Like there's just massive value because I decided to be more visible, more present on LinkedIn and all the socials. And I also recognize, so like, I know the value. I know a bunch of people, hell, you could read it in the LinkedIn stream, right? People that are saying, I want to get 10,000 followers. I want to do this. I want to post more often. This is why we're having this conversation, is to help people do that. Not just meet the little goal of like being consistent, but so that they could have a really good time and really attract their tribe, attract the people that are going to speak into their life so that they can have this beautiful, massive experience. So look, Adam knows peacocks are perfect. Yeah, baby. So Jen, we already talked a little bit about how when we first started, there was, the checklist and the boundaries and the rules and the right messaging, and then we just got kind of wild and loose with it. What is the difference in terms of how you feel or what you've experienced when you started, since you've let go of the perfection thing?
Well, I want to give, there's a couple of examples that I think are cool, because I think when I started, it's like I work for a big company. Okay. And people are going to watch and they're going to see and they're going to have opinions, and I don't want it to hurt my credibility. I don't want, things like that. Like those are all the things that were in my head. And so I was overthinking things, which then wasn't allowing me to show up authentically. And I mean, it was what it was. I was there, it was still there, but I was still kind of scripting things that I wanted to say because I didn't want to say it wrong. And it was just a lot of just stress and extra work that wasn't necessary. And at that point I needed to do it to realize, like, this sucks. Like, Jesse, I don't want to keep doing this, because every Saturday morning I'm like, like it was just, and then I get done and I'm just like exhausted. And so like, part of it was like by letting that stuff go, like almost not having to overthink those things. Now it's fun. Now we get to show up and talk about things that some people aren't quite ready for, but also people are waiting for. And,
yes.
And I want to use Jared, even though I'm going to give him credit imperfectly. Yes, that is how he shows up now. And I see it and I watch it, and it's been so freaking cool. That's the norm. I've seen him grow, and I've seen him, and he works with the company that I work with, and he's one of our superintendents, and he's a rock star. Okay. Yep. Early on, I kind of watched him navigating through a lot of stuff in his workspace, not our space, but in his workspace. And then he kind of joined and has been part of these conversations. But I've been able to see his growth of like, hey, we're going to screw things up. And he's the superintendent. I'm going to let him talk about it. But there's things I'm sure he screwed up, or there's things that he's done that's like, well, that didn't go the way it needed to go. Now we need to, pivot and do something different. I've watched that also in his workspace. And and that's the company that I work for. There's another one, Maria Martin. She may not be on this morning, but we started, Jesse, and she started showing up in our live stream. She worked for my company, and I'd never met her.
I remember that. Yes.
And it was like the first time I got to meet her when I went home, to the corporate office. So it was like, there were things that I was like so worried about that ended up being not a big deal. And then what it also started doing when I was showing up in a way, people were like, I want more interaction with you. And then they were growing in their careers and doing really cool things. And for me, I didn't think about any of that. So it's like, one, we try to script everything. We try to lay the path in front of us of what it's going to look like. Number one, you can't. So I'm just going to say that. And number two, like when you're over scripting it, you're not allowing for like what could happen.
Yes.
Okay. All those words. I'm not sure I answered your question.
No, it's perfect. Okay. It's very, very powerful because I know that there's people out there that I know for a fact that there are people wrestling with that. Like, because I could see, like I've had conversations with folks that are like, man, how do you do it? Like, I just do it. But that doesn't help them. But they have those little hangups. And I guess one of the things is, folks, we still have the hangups, right? It's a decision to like take the action. Now, Sarah, here's again, proof, right? Sarah says, I'll state what's changed. I've had executives tell me things privately they wish they could let go, like me, and they open up and tell me things that they don't tell others, right? So maybe they're not posting about it on social media, but they're starting to open up because they see Sarah demonstrating that behavior. And it gives them permission to open up, right? Yes. Which is ultra, ultra powerful, which is kind of the foundation behind this freaking 4-year run that we've been on. Because we were doing with the 5S in Relationships live stream series, and we saw people opening up. It's like, oh, wait a minute. We're giving them, like, they see us doing it. So they're like, we got to keep doing this because we need this. The community started growing. Mr. Milo says, I think social media is a great way to get to know people out there. But real meaningful connections happens when one interacts face-to-face with the person or a group. One cannot control how a post or a like in social media will be perceived. But when I interact face-to-face with the person, he or she can see the actual human being and not the profile. Milo, I love the perspective, and I'm not totally on board. Because I've hung out face-to-face with some fake-ass fools, right? And so maybe the things that we're talking about transition are true in person and online, right? There was a time, long time ago when I had a real job that I would contort my behavior and the things I would say and the way I would say things so that I wouldn't be judged and I would be, fit, like play the role. And that was in person. Now, I agree that when we're like face to face, dramatically different. I also will agree, and I think this is what's in your comment, is if you see me acting the way that I act right now, and then you and I meet whenever that happens, Milo, face to face, and I'm a bag, like that's, and a lot of people, you can't fake it, right? Like you can play the game here on social media with your posts and your highlight reels and all that crap. Like it's very curated. Mine is too. But when you meet the person in real life and it's a different story, like that is a problem. So that's what Milo's comment brings to mind. But I also want to like recognize that, yes, there is truth. And like, let's connect with the people deeply. Back to the idea of showing up imperfectly. It's easy for me to be the same in person that I am on social media because I'm just like as much of me as I'm willing to be, right? And what I want to, again, going back to the whole point of the conversation is like get people that want to get more active, people that want to experience greater return or value from LinkedIn or just being active on social media. Just be a little less perfect. Yeah. Don't get caught up now. So then the question is, sure, there's some perfectionists out there, and I get that. But I think the majority of people, Jen, struggle, not necessarily because they want to be perfect. They struggle because of the opinion of somebody else. What do you got to say about that?
Well, I want to go back a little bit, just as we're segueing into this question, is Milo, I completely understand the things that you're saying. I know that that was kind of my thinking. That was a lot of my thinking early on, which limited my connections and my community and the people that I was able not to influence, but to be able to have as a part of my life. So an example is Sarah, Steve, Leslie, Adam, you. Like, these are all, I mean, all of these people started on social media. Like, I'm just going to own it. Like, they started social media connections that, for whatever reason, like, like connects to like, or we have the same mission, or whatever the things were. Like, these people came into a space that was completely virtual. And now I call them my friends, and most of them, Steve, that's our goal for 2026, to see Steve. But most of them I've gotten to spend time with in person. And like, now my world is better because I allowed these connections to be there. So I want to own that. But I also want to say that, like, nowadays, a lot of our work is virtual.
Yeah.
So, like, even though we're in construction, and even though, yes, a lot of in the field and things like that, I don't know anyone that does not have to do virtual meetings or virtual presentations, or they don't have to interact on Teams and, all the things. So there's a lot of virtual, where we have to engage. Like, how are you showing up in those settings, and how different is that from how you show up on social media? So I kind of wanted to put some context there, because whose opinion actually stops you. Do you change the way you show up virtually based on who's on the other side? And I'm not saying, like, it's not important if it's the CEO versus, a laborer. Like, I'm not trying to say, like, are you contorting but do you, and what's important to you, and what your goals are, and where you're focusing, do you manipulate that as you're showing up? Whether it's your posts, whether it's your virtual meetings, whether it's in person, like, are you manipulating that because you're worried about what someone's going to say? They're going to judge you. Their opinion could harm your career. Like, I think that's where this question comes into play, is who is that person, or who is that group, or who is that company, whatever it is, that you're scared. You're scared because you don't want it to change your trajectory. You don't want it to change kind of, things that are important to you, because it's your livelihood and it's how you pay your bills.
Yeah. There's a lot there. And so we're going to jump. So folks, tribe, I read the question, right? If you're hesitant and apprehensive and second guessing, or you're doing a whole lot of pre-production, extra processing stuff before you actually post, I really want you to, because this is important. Like, this will help you kind of have the breakthrough. Whose opinion is actually stopping you for showing up more fully, right? Whose opinion is it that is driving you to polish and reword and run it through AI and, like, I know a lot of script out the shit, and, like, a lot of people make it very heavy because of somebody's opinion. Now, some people, and I'm not this person, I will never be this person, make it heavy because they want to deliver a very high value, like a high threshold of quality. I'm not judging that. Like, I get that. I understand that is a value point. It's not one that I'll ever be into. So if that's you, you're cool. I ain't judging you. But what I'm talking about is the people that, like, that angst, and like, what if, who, if they see, if they, that's who I'm talking about. I'm talking to you. Whose opinion actually stops you from showing up more fully? Now, back to Milo's point, yours, and now Mr. Hoots. Folks, if y'all don't know, if you're looking for, like, a super badass community for superintendents, construction superintendents, hit up Hoots, hit up the Old Dog community. Milo, he says, Old Dog, baby. I agree. Context is tough to realize over the internet in writing. Are you living what you're posting? Right? There used to be a saying, practice what you preach. What I'm getting from this is practice what you post. Because I know there's a whole lot of pretenders out there posting shit that they don't actually do or believe and espouse to. Anyways, back to the point here is whose opinion actually stops you from showing up more fully. And Jen, believe it or not, there was a period in time where I was very apprehensive about posting on social media, like except for
tell
Facebook.
us about it, Jesse.
Like Facebook was easy because it's just where I was being stupid with my friends that I grew up with. But LinkedIn had this thing right in my head, like, oh, it's professional and all my bosses are there. And so like, let's rewind all the way back to pre 5S in relationships. When I started my podcast, the Learnings and Missteps podcast, I didn't tell anybody that I worked with. Right. And I created like its own little LinkedIn profile. It's still there. And I would only post on there, and I will only post like once every 2 weeks, because I was really concerned that my company would find out about it and go and like listen to every single word, do a freaking audit on the messaging and the language that I was using, and that I would get in trouble for it. So I was really like pumping the brakes. Did I post like on my personal profile? No, because I had this concern that it was going to cause problems for me. Now, kind of which brings us back to the question, right? Whose opinion actually stopped me from showing up more fully? When I sat down and asked that question, like I couldn't name a person. Right? It was in my head. I created that situation that if I post something, the freaking corporate president of marketing is going to call it all the way down the chain, and I'm going to get freaking arrested and locked up. And you know what? I've been arrested and locked up, and I've survived. So I would have survived that. But anyways, there was this stuff in my head that I was projecting on other entities and other people, that if I do this, this is what's going to happen. And I feel like I'm not the only one that's ever been in that space. Jen, what do you think?
Yes. And I think and those of you that have been a part of our journey, like you've heard some of these things. So and some of it you're new, but at first for me, it was an entity. It was the entity, the overall entity of the company I was working for. So I work for Robbins & Morton. If you don't know that, you can look it up. I work for Robbins & Morton, been with them for 22 plus years. And for me, it was like, and Jesse knows this, very intentional early on. When we were doing the 5S Lean in Love, the love letters, very intentional on I did it at certain times, only that it was non-working time. I didn't mention who I worked for. Even though construction and the industry and how I show up was like everything I did every day, and my speaking engagements and all the things Jesse and I talked about in the book was what was important to me. It was very separate. It was, I was very intentional on keeping these things separate. And there were a couple of things that have happened early on, and then even throughout, is we wrote a book, and I had a couple of superintendents that work for me that when I would go to the job site, Jennifer, can you sign my book? And I'm like, and again, Jesse knows I was not outwardly, posting about, I wrote a book. Like it was just Jesse and I did stuff together, and I wasn't really doing it inside my company. So there was that, which was really, I was like, wow, okay. So I was like, okay, so it kind of made me a little less scared. Then we had somebody internally that was in charge of communication and marketing, which is, we know those spaces, that was like, hey, we want to do a write-up on your book to share with the company. And I'm like, what? Like, that's like the scary. And then the third piece of it that kind of was one of the people, and I'm going to name two of them and that's even scarier for me right now because of now where they are. But Amy, somebody that was very important and very influential in our company, that is one of our vice presidents. I ran into her when I was visiting. Hey, I got your book. And I was just like, what? So it was all these little things that, like, I wasn't doing it. It was still happening. I think that was the moment where I'm just like, even if I'm not intentionally doing these things, it's still happening. Jennifer, why are you not doing it intentionally? So you could at least like control some of the narrative or even like make it bigger. So there was that big moment in my mind that it's going to happen whether you're doing it or not. And so those were two big things. And then and I have more, and then I want you to give, because you've been a part of all this. And then the other is you said who is the person. So then it was my entity. Then all these things started breaking down the barriers of, okay, the company knows and they're doing all these things and it's not bad. And then it became, Amy was still somebody that is very important to me and she has a lot of influence. And then Bill Morton, who is our CEO. So like these are two very influential people in my company. And Jesse shows up to an event that I invited him to that was a company event because he's hanging out, and he and Amy get to meet, and she's just like, I watch your stuff, we love your stuff, you should come do more stuff with us. And it was I didn't know even all of that. And then also, if you follow my CEO is engaging in my posts and he's liking them, and then when I see him, he's commenting on things that I'm posting socially.
Yeah.
Like those were all things that like broke, I'm not saying broke down, but like I had these ideas of things that were wrong.
Yep.
So just, there's a lot there to unpackage, but those were the they for me.
Yeah, no, I love that. And so, in the post, we said, like, what are some of the things you can expect? Now, what the picture or your experience, Jen, is phenomenal, right? And I know not everybody is going to have that experience.
Right, correct.
We know, you said it at the beginning. Yep. We've had people come on, join the live stream and share their thoughts, ask a question, and then their boss kind of freaked out and overreacted, right? So my point in all of that is that it is possible, right? Similarly, when I did, I was doing the podcast and all of that, my boss at the time, Mike Kyman, who's a tribe member, he found out about it. He's like, hey man, what's this learnings and mistips thing? And I'm like, oh shit, here it is. I was being careful. And so I told him about it. He's like, you work for one of the biggest general contractors in the world. Like, why don't you tell everybody? And I was like, that was not what I expected, right? I was expecting to get my butt chewed. And I'm like, he's like, yeah. And he was like, look, dude, this is how many people, you got a lot of reach here in the central region in the United States. Like, I'm like, oh, okay. And so my point in that is, like, we have this thing in our head. I had this thing, right? Who am I polishing my shit for? Who am I afraid of, like, holding my stuff back? Whose opinion is it that stops me from showing up? I was projecting that on other people. And the reality was, it was me. It was the people between my ears. That's who was holding me up. When I started doing it, the people around me signaled, do more. We like it. And, I got some people like, Jess, you cuss too much. I'm like, I don't even remember. Hell, I remember a third of what I actually say. I don't even know if I'm cussing or not. But, I do get coaching points and whatever. So you can expect, there is a likelihood that being more present, vulnerable, authentic, whatever stupid words are, like just being more you is going to create this situation where the people around you, your bosses, etc., are signaling to, like, man, we love that. We want more of that. But what's also possible is they flip out and, it turns into a negative situation. I like for me, that's magic, because when I know you're behind me, man, we could go hard and we can go fast. And when I know you're not behind me, I know I got to cut you off.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a win either way, because I'm going to filter out, glean my people. They're going to show up. They're going to surface. And the scrubs and the haters, they're also going to show up. Is going to be more pronounced, and I can do something about that. I also want to say, I am confident that if I were to get back into my old behaviors, meaning my addiction, manipulation, all the stuff that I used to do, that this tribe would call me to account.
Yes.
This tribe would reach out to me and say, hey, dude, what's up? Something's different. Like, you're off. What is going on? We haven't been there yet, but I think there's value there. Again, it's easy because I'll polish very, very little. From most people's perspectives, like, Jesse don't polish at all. We're lucky if he showers. But there are the things I do deal with, the stuff in my head. I am worried about, I do have these weird little things that I get hung up on. But the point is this. If you want, like, there is massive value in expanding your reach, building your presence on social media. Like Milo said, be real, right? Don't fake it. Practice what you post. Be as much of you as you possibly can. And so, one thing that I know we got a lot of people on here that are very active. And I know there's people watching like, yeah, well, it's easy for you because you're so handsome and so good looking and so articulate. Like, I know it's a curse, but you don't have to be this immaculate to be active on social media. I know there's other cheat codes. And so I want to ask the tribe, what are your cheat codes for maintaining your presence on the LinkedIn or any of the socials? Most of our tribe is very active on LinkedIn, Jen. So starting with you, what's your cheat code for, like, you're pretty consistent?
Well, I want to own I'm not as consistent as you. So I want to, like, a little disclaimer is Jesse and I, as much as we do a lot of things together, we show up also very different in our plan or how we show up on social media. And so there's not like here's the perfect template to be the perfect social media influencer.
Right.
To be clear, because as much as we do things together, the way we show up and what we're posting sometimes is a little different. So it can look very scattered for people that just randomly pop into my feed. But if you go and you look at my posts, you'll see that common thread of just, of just people, like just the people part and just how important that is for me, whether it's personal or professional. But the cheat code for me is, number one, to not overthink it. But two, Jesse, it's the reps. And I'm just going to say, like, sometimes it's a quote, sometimes it's a photo, sometimes it's an experience, sometimes it's a community event, sometimes it's a speaking event. Sometimes you and I are just sitting somewhere having cake. I mean, I'm just going to say, like, there's photos where Jesse and I are sitting at a restaurant eating strawberry cake. And it's really, but I mean, it's not overthinking it. And also, like, there's no wrong way to do it.
Yep.
And again, you're going to go, well, okay. Like, there's people out there that may be doing some things that are not aligned with you. But if they're doing it and they feel like that's what they need to do, it's not wrong. So you need to stop thinking about other people and what they're doing. And I don't fit in that mold, or they're doing it wrong. Well, stop. What are you doing? How are you showing up? Because that should be all you focus on. That should be all you're thinking about. Is if I show up today and then next week I show up again, is it going to reflect back that, oh, this is the person that's showing up? Or last week they were mad, today they're angry, tomorrow they're excited. Like, are you showing up the same way? And Adam says, like, just, are you showing up and are you saying the things consistently that you want people to see and you want people to hear? And to me, those are the people that last, Jesse, the people that are consistent and what do their reps look like? And they don't have to all be the same.
I love it. And I agree. Like, we got some cheat codes here. So let's go with Mr. Hoots.
Okay.
Schedule the post. I agree. When I started scheduling posts, like, that really, really helps. So it helps consistently, tons. Also, just taking 5 minutes to create the post. Right? Like, just do the damn thing. I know somebody that says that, Mr. Hoots. So there you go. Like, for real, like, there's times when you're in a creative, for me, I can post every day. It's not a big deal, but it's heavy. Like, it takes time, like, it takes thinking. And so the reason the posting, like the scheduling of the post helps for me is because I sit down and I create, like, an image, or I have an image or a video or whatever. And I start writing, and it's like, oh, then I get another idea and another idea and another idea. And I just schedule them out and, like, yeah, it's done. So that when they actually get posted, now I have, like, brain space to go and interact in the comments and, be goofy and silly or whatever. So yeah, absolutely cheat code. Ms. Leslie.
Can I grab this one? Because I have, no, you're fine. Bring Leslie up. I want to speak to this one because something happened at the end of the year that it leans into what she said. So Leslie says, a cheat code on LinkedIn. When I can't post, which is often, I show up with comments and reactions. and I show up to the live stream to say hello. And why is that important? That is important because at the end of the year, if you've been on LinkedIn, it gives you kind of a recap of your year. Like, here's how many posts you did. Here's how many engagements you had. Here's the one person that you engaged with the most. And 4 people, Jesse, posted on their feed that I was that person. That I was and these are not people that I do things with socially, that I do things with publicly. These are not people that I work directly with. In fact, all 4 of them were not people that don't even work for my company. And yet I was their most engaged person. Yep. And it was only because of comments and reactions.
Yep. Yep.
And so I thought that was cool, is that these are people that are out there and they're posting, and I'm engaging with it. I'm commenting, I'm liking it, I'm sharing it. And that in itself is a way to show up.
Yes. Well, and I'm going to I agree. I'm going to steal what Leslie's saying here. So especially for like the folks out there that decided or figured out, heard somewhere that you got to get active on LinkedIn, right? Like it's not just a job posting platform anymore, blah, blah, blah. An easy way to get started and get active, and grow your reach, like super, super light lift, interact on other people's stuff. And if you pick mine, that's a good choice, right? But anybody, like make a comment. Do the likey, that's easy. Make a comment, ask like you don't have to create a post. You can just go in there regularly, once a week, every day, whatever the frequency is, and start interacting on other people's posts. Like that's
repost it, right? You can repost what somebody else did. You don't even have to do it yourself.
100%. You can repost, put your thoughts, like make it as light as possible so that you can, again, start expanding your network, start expanding your reach and whatever. Now, for me, like, I've been obsessive and learning as much as I can about copywriting and And I'm going to tell you, like, I understand that the playbook is, right, have a strong hook and then have a second hook to keep them reading. Let the line feed to the next line. And then have a, something actionable, a takeaway, a professional insight, and then have a CTA, like a call to action. So you can, right? Like, I understand that. And I'm going to tell you right now, all that bullshit just made it heavy and hard for me. Cause now it's like, there's these rules and so I'll say this. If you're trying to sell a product, you best be doing that. Otherwise, you're like, if you're running ads and you're not doing that, you're throwing your money away. Which brings me to like the key thing, like my key cheat code for being consistent and maintaining my presence on all the socials is getting clear about why I am on social media. And so here it is. My primary purpose, the primary reason that I have a social media account and why I'm active on them is to build a community, period. And I don't mean like, yes, I have a paid community, right? I just mean to find my tribe, to find my people, to let my people know that I am here. That is my primary objective. Do I sell crap? Yes, I do. Right? Do I do yes. Do I run ads? Yes, I do. But my primary purpose for being on social media is to build a community. And so that's my cheat code. Once I got clear, like, wait a minute, why am I doing this? Like, oh, so I could grow my people, so I can spend more time, invest in each other, support each other, all the things. All of a sudden, the door's unlocked. Now, the second cheat code I have, and I know a lot of people out there in this situation, and it's an easy one to overlook. A lot of us are standing in the front of the room speaking to people because we're experienced. We have a lot of wisdom. We have a lot of value to share and spread with the world. And y'all, I mean, the difference between most people and me is y'all probably say smart stuff most of the time. I say smart things every now and then. And so whenever I'm in front of a room, I take my little selfie stick, I get my phone or a camera, and I record myself so that I can pull clips from that video, but just the smart stuff, right? Kind of like Milo was saying earlier, right? I'm going to post the smart stuff so people think, like, at least know that I'm smart sometimes. And so my point there is, like, I don't have to create ideas. I can pull from things that I do on the regular, coaching calls, speaking engagements, facilitating a meeting. Like, all of these things are good buckets or sources for content. Call it content capital, right? I got this bulk of stuff that I can just pull out and post about. Like, those are the two things. One, getting clear about why the hell I'm on here. Two is creating a content source where I can pull from. For me, it's video, because, who am I to rob the internet of all of this beauty? I must share it. For some people, they don't want to do video, right? They just like doing text. Good. They just like doing pictures. Good. Like, whatever it is, just get clear about that. What do you think, Jen?
Well, yes. And I think I want to add that, like, this year, last year, 2025, I had 3 very high profile engagements with groups outside of my local community. So, like, where I live in Texas, 3 groups, and I would say probably 4, just because one kind of was a joint one, but 3 or 4 engagements that were because of the way I show up on social media. Like, they reached out, and it wasn't, hey, this, that. It was, hey, we have this event coming up. This is our message. This is our audience. We feel you would be a great person to share your story. Like, and it was not because, like, hey, give me your background and what's important to you. It was because
they already decided.
Yep. They saw what I did and went, we need that to be in our community. We need that. We need our people to hear what you're saying. And so again, it's how you're showing up, what's important to you. You said, I got real clear on what's important to me. And for me, what it allowed me to do, not only was I able to be authentic and vulnerable, but it helped me get super clear on spaces that I show up in.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not wasting time. I'm not somewhere trying to, I'm not the guy with the wagon. I'm selling a snake oil in the back. I'm saying, like, I'm not trying to, like, manipulate something into fitting what works for the audience. Like, there are people that is what they do. That is not what I do. Right. I don't manipulate my words to the audience. I want to be in spaces that what I say and what's important to me and how I show up is what the audience needs. That's a big difference. Huge.
And how did you, like, well, I'm just going to say it. I think you're being active on social, like doing the live streams, doing the posting, is what helped you get clear about what the hell that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, because it what felt good, what didn't feel good, what felt right, what in my mind now, it's like, this is what I'm passionate about. This is what I want to do. This is the impact I want to have on this industry. And is this doing it or is it not? And it's not even Jennifer now getting to do that. Now, even within my firm, having those intentional conversations on, like, here's where I want to speak. Here's where I don't want to speak. Here's what I want to speak on. Here's what I don't want to speak on. And so now they don't even come to me and go, hey, we want to put you on this abstract, or hey, we want this person reached out. Like, now they're very clear on, here's the thing she wants to focus on. Does this fit in that model? If it doesn't, she's not our person.
Right.
Like, it's helped me get clear, but also helped those around me get clear.
Yes. And again, by putting it out there, letting other people see, helping them become aware of it. And I mean, I'm going to go back to Milo's comment, right? Is practice what you post, right? Like, you're getting clear about what you're going to say and do. Like, the messaging that you're putting out there on social media, you're also doing that in real life, which I think is important. And I think we've missed too many times. Like, it's two separate things. It's like, or maybe the way to think about it is the tighter the gap between what you think, say, and how you behave on the internet versus in real life, the better things are going to be for you. Like, period. Now, if you're a dirtbag, I guess it'll be better because more people will tell you you're a dirtbag and you'll stop being a dirtbag. But on the other hand, like ballers that we attract and hang out with, start closing that gap. Like these practices aren't just for the internet, but I will say like 100% without a doubt, there's massive value in being more active on social media and specifically LinkedIn. Now we got two comments.
No, and again, I keep taking things from you, and can I grab Jared's comment? Can I grab that one, because he actually texted me while we're doing the live stream. But Jared says, I really post. I do well to remember to tune in here. For me, intentionality, making it a priority for growth and to support my peeps. Like, yes. And he texted me with a photo of I was the person he was most engaged with last year from LinkedIn. Like, he doesn't post very much. I get to do a lot more with him internally with the company, but he just texted me the photo, which he didn't post on LinkedIn. But like, those are things that I was the person that he was most engaged with. So like, you're doing things, those ripples that you're creating that you may never see. You may not even know it, but you're out there getting people like Jared, who doesn't post a lot, but he shows up. He shows up and he continues to engage. But I've seen the growth it's given him in his job.
Yes.
Like what he's doing here and the way and he shows up in the after party and he has conversations with us about real problems that he's dealing with. And I see how that's helping him outside of the space.
Yep. Jared's a solid dude. And I mean, I think maybe there's another thing, right? Is maybe you're still tiptoeing about being posty and active. That's okay.
Yes.
Find some badass people to follow, man. Find some groups and communities. Like, of course, no BS with Jen and Jess and everybody that's been posting in the comments, but also start building your own little community, the people that you want to follow and learn from. Like you could do it quietly. I don't recommend that. Rather, I'm going to say like, okay, you could tiptoe for a little bit, but come on, man, like let's get to it. Now, Sarah says, I'm just consistent with liking or commenting on others. For me, it is meditating in the morning and seeing what message comes to me. I really like that. I do schedule reposts from my company because we post daily. So there you go, right? She's got her personal, like I'm going to meditate and an idea or a thought or something is going to come across that I'm going to share about. And she has a schedule post of supporting the business, which makes perfect sense, right? Like actually I'll do that as a recommendation is, yes, there's this kind of personal, I think right now the fancy trendy thing is having a personal brand, thought leadership. Like you could do that like that. I'm being silly, but like you just posting your thoughts and ideas, helping people understand where you stand, where you come from, what you believe in, what you support. And there's the business angle too, right? Like this is the business I do. And we're trying to do some business development, maybe less formal type of business development. I think doing a combination is really, really smart. And I'm also going to add for folks like Jared and I've seen this over and over and over again. When people start getting active on social media, their stock value within the company goes up. And here's why. And this is part of why some of the bosses overreact and freak out. Because all of a sudden, that little business unit or that job site that everybody knows you, that's a small little group of people. And if you're really, really good, maybe more people in your business unit know you, but it kind of ends there. You start getting active on social media, guess what? Beyond the job site, beyond the department, beyond the freaking business unit, like you start getting recognized and people start valuing it, changes people's perspective, and there's a higher value. Rather, I shouldn't say there's a higher value. Your value in other people's eyes goes up because the risk of them losing you, or rather the risk of them undervaluing you, goes up because now you have a presence because people are seeing you and you're forming connections, et cetera, et cetera. So there is massive value in being active and being visible in social media. Of course, do it the way you want to do it. But I feel like, go ahead, Jen.
I want to add to that. It's your value, your social value goes up, which is amazing. And like, and don't be scared, because I'm going to tell you, when you're more visible on social media and your people are more visible on social media and people get to see and hear the things that are happening, I'm going to say I've witnessed it, and it has happened. We attract people.
Yep.
So there are people, and I'm going to tell you, some specifically were in the tribe, like we're showing up and getting to hear me and Jesse talk, and then get to hear me talk about my company. And then they came to work for us because they're like, well, if that's a company that supports these type of things, and I'm in a place that doesn't, and I'm in a place that I'm not able to do these things, it can also attract people. So 100%. Like, yes, the social capital internally of yourself, that you can now be socialized, and they can see that you're an influencer in the space that we're in. But it also lets people go, oh crap, like there are companies out there that do these things.
Yes. Well, and I'm gonna flip that, and like, warning to all you freaking weak sauce ass managers that freak out and want to govern and like control what people are saying and what they're not saying. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose, because they're gonna see other people with other firms that are supported and nurtured and appreciated, and guess what? Your people gonna leave. So get over your bullshit. Support your people. I mean, it's that easy. I think we almost forgot about the
randomizer, Jesse.
All right. It is time for folks everybody out there in the Omniverse that commented. Your name has been thrown into the randomizer, and here we go. I want to remind you, if you get selected, you're going to get a 1-month pass to Emotional Bungee Jumpers and the cultivation. Oh, Jared Wilson. Jared.
Perfect.
That's perfect, right? It's almost like it's rigged.
I know, like, I'm surprised Steve Martin hasn't said that yet.
So we'll have to I got to send those invites out so that we can all come and hang out and have some fun. We take that off the screen. All right. Congratulations, Jared. Thank you, brother, for being like massive supporter and all the things. Like, you're doing badass stuff out there in the industry. So it's freaking awesome to like be associated with you. And here's the other thing. Like, I'm going to tell you guys for real. People, like, because I get to hang out and interact with all of you that are like in the comments and support and all the other things, it makes other people think I'm like way better than I am. And so, I get to like draft and surf on y'all's cred. Like, I'm stealing a little bit of your credit. I'm loving it. Like, it's working for me. So that may be another reason to be active on the socials. What did we miss?
Be careful if you have like a person like Jesse where you're hanging out with them a lot, because then you're going to show up in spaces, which happens to me all the time. And I don't even tell him most of them, because I know I don't want his head to get big. But I'll show up to something like sometimes not even work related. Like, it could be just I'm walking into somewhere and I'll get someone to go, "Where's Jesse?" And I'm like, I don't carry him around with me. So again, like, he gets a lot of like extra cred just because of like the people he hangs out with. And again, that happens a lot. And social media, as much as we blow those things up in our head, it also makes people think things that sometimes are not. Like, I don't hang out with Jesse all the time, just so you know.
Yeah. I love it. Well, so there's this after party thing where we can hang out a little bit more. You want to tell the people about it while I do the linky stuff?
Absolutely. So Jesse, we do these live streams every other Saturday morning, and normally the conversations are based on things that we've dealt with in our lives, conversations we've had with people, but most of the time, whatever we talk about in 2 weeks will come from the after party conversation. And so after this, Jesse's posting all the links to that, but you get to listen to us for like an hour and 15 minutes talking about a lot of different things. And we want to hear what you have to say, or maybe some things that resonated with you on this show that, that we can kind of dig into a little bit more. And so in the after party, you don't have to turn your video on. It's just voice, but you can join and you get to unmute and you can share your thoughts and things like that. And normally Sometimes we have 2 or 3 people. Sometimes we've had 5 or 6 people, but you come in and you just kind of get to have a conversation. So it's not just you listening to Jesse and I. And most of the time, whatever topic we're going to talk about in 2 weeks will come from that conversation. So something we can dig into more that maybe, would be good to socialize with our tribe. And so all the links on No BS with Jen and Jess page, my page, probably Jesse's page, you can go and you can find the link, and it's just literally a click, takes you, I believe, to a Google Meets, and you don't even have to, again, turn your video on. You can just kind of listen and then chime in when you want to. But that is what we do after the show at 9:20 Central.
Boom, boom, boom. Yes, so I just dropped the links in the post. If you want to be there, come on with it so we can hang out and, get y'all's insight and get some critiquing, right? Like, if there's anything we can do to make this more gooder, let us know. Leslie, she says, thank you. Great to see you. Likewise, my sister. You take it easy, Miss Leslie. So, all right, so we got 5 minutes, Jen. How do we do? Do you feel like we covered the topics, the questions, the ideas?
I think we did. I think that, again, I think the goal was those of you that maybe made I'm going to say resolution. You made a plan coming into this year. Like, hey, I've been on social media. I'm doing this. I'm not doing this. I kind of want to do this for 2026. And LinkedIn is part of that plan, whether it's social media in general, or I want my presence to be more. I want to engage more. And I guess my summary of the conversation today is like, think about the things we talked about. Think about what you're wanting to do. And Jesse, I think some people get like, I want these big, grandiose things to happen. So here's all the things I need to do to make that happen. And I think that's where people then struggle and then give up, because these things didn't get me this. So I guess the 2 big takeaways, number one is, Jesse, when you and I started, we did the live stream and we did the No BS letters. And then we decided, we need to create a space. What was our goal?
The goal was to help one person. That's it.
Think differently, look at things differently, show up differently. That was our goal. And then like when that happened, we're like, oh, okay, one more and one more. And that's kind of how that was what we wanted to do. So number one, like, make your goals realistic and realize that sometimes they're slow. Sometimes they take time. Sometimes Jesse and I are like this much into what our 500-year plan is, and we're 4 years in. So like, I'm just like sometimes like, what is the goal? And you're really good about with me when I have like, this is what I want to do. And you're just like, Jennifer, start with 10 minutes, start with 5 minutes, start with once a week. Start with like, you're really good with like helping me not, here's how, oh my gosh. Okay. This one thing, like do this one thing, like let that be your goal for the first 2 or 3 weeks of the year. See how that goes, reassess, make sure that anyway. So I guess that's the one big thing is just like, think about what you're trying to do and not what is your January 31st or December 31st. This is where I want to be, but like, what is your, and I'm going to give you a plug just because I think it's so important, but Jesse does really good. He has a time management system that he uses, and he does free webinars and he does things that you can sign up for, but it helps you like break things down into not like big chunks, but like tiny chunks and tiny little decisions that you're making. So look him up on social media and just look at some of the things that he's posting about, because like, it's like, what is my goal for tomorrow? What is my goal for this week? What is my goal for this month? And like, it's so important to use that structure. And then the other is just get out there and do it. Like those are my just two, like just do it. Just start engaging with people. You don't have to post. Just start engaging, commenting, using your authentic, vulnerable voice.
Yeah. Thank you, Jen. And my closing thought is this. If it feels heavy, you're the one that's making it heavy.
Yes.
If you're worried about somebody judging you and critiquing you, firing you, whatever, like for real, maybe don't do this in the comments, but sit down and write the names of those people. And then ask yourself, how do I know that? Because I think what you'll find is it's an assumption or a fear that you're projecting on other people. And then lastly, I love what you said, Jen. It's like, just if your goal is to have 10,000 followers and you're worried about how many followers you gotta get every day in order to hit there, and like, it's not like, rather, I mean, actually you can run ads. Like, there's a real easy way to do that. Spend a shitload of money, run ads so people can follow you. You could do that. Or interact, like, just do the action of interacting. The intended outcome is the followers, right? And so there's actions that I have to take. I think of them as bricks. There are brick stacking I have to do to accomplish or achieve this big, gigantic thing. So what are the bricks? The bricks, and I'm going to keep it tight with LinkedIn and social media. The bricks are, and we've already said it, Leslie said it, you said it, Sarah said it. The bricks are liking, engaging, commenting, reposting, and then posting. Like, if you don't do those things, you're not going to get the followers. And then lastly, celebrate the win. If you've never done it before and you did it for the first time, freaking celebrate. And you did it back to back, that's another celebration, right? You got to celebrate the laying of the bricks to get to that final outcome. So last point is, you got to know what the intended outcome is. What are the bricks that are required in order to get there? And start laying bricks, man. Don't worry about the freaking finish line. You got to lay the path, pave the path first.
And if you do have a list of people and you know this is what maybe you're not in your right space. Maybe you're not with the right firm. Maybe you are just, I mean, again, it doesn't mean, okay, I got to make decisions because of them. Maybe you just need to be in a space where you're not making decisions because of them. Just going to say.
Amen. And if you want to talk more about that, hit the link, come to the after party, and oh shit, you got to put the music on, Jen.
Yes.